Hey guys! So today I want to talk a bit about these E-Paper price tags and also about 3D printing. I think it's the first time I'm talking at all about 3D printing in my channel or on my channel. I don't know why I never did it. For the last few days I looked a bit into 3D printing a custom case for these E-Paper displays, if the focus would work. We have these E-Paper price tags with a 2.13-inch E-Paper display, and for the last few days I designed a small little case for it, and I want to go a bit above the few iterations I had and how it now ended and how the case is now looking and how simple it is to 3D print on your own. I talked in the past a few times about these E-Paper price tags and how to get a custom firmware running on them. They use a TLSR microcontroller but with a proprietary RF connection, but by hacking into it the SDK with Bluetooth Low Energy included, we can get them to advertise BLE packages and even be able to connect to them. So we have a real Bluetooth Low Energy device, like here with a custom firmware running, where you can upload your own images, your own firmware, compile your own firmware to your needs, and just play around with them. You can find it on my channel and I will also link it down in the description. Here we now have a few iterations of the 3D printing versions. So we start with the whole E-Paper price tag, and we can unplug the battery by putting a tweezer into the two holes and pulling up the battery. We then have this battery package where we also remove the battery from, but we need to be very careful to tape above this plus side of the terminal, because here we have the ground spring, and if we would put it into the new case, this will connect to the plus and minus, so it's a big fat short here. To reflash the custom firmware, I finally also got around to make a pogo pin adapter, which can be inserted here and will connect to the correct pins, like VCC, ground and the SWS pin to reflash the microcontroller inside. And to open up or to get the PCB and display out, I used such a cutter and just cut into the corners of each side, because the front is ultrasonically welded. So by that we already have most of the parts apart, and then we can just roll the front case away from the display. After that we can remove the display and the PCB, but be careful, the PCB is not plugged in, it's also welded to the PCB and display, and we will then be greeted by such a small package, for once with this silicone rubber and the PCB on the other side. I first measured the dimensions and came up with this rectangle design where we can just plug the E-Paper display to the side, slide it in, and after that we can slide in the battery as well. We will then have this opening on the side, which is not the nicest looking, but overall it fits, or it did fit on the first try. I was quite happy about it. After that I came up with this one, where we just have a bit more rounded edges, and here we have a recessed opening where we then can plug in such a end cap to have it closed better. But that wasn't enough. I saw that the original case was way thinner, so I looked how to get into that and had a few more iterations. At last I was at this one, where you can see how much thinner it got if we hold it next to each other, and that it is kind of the same thickness of the original case, but fully custom. And the best thing is, this one prints out in one part, the case, and we only have this one sliding opening here, and the battery gets just simply inserted from the front, so as we have the same size of the display where we can just put it in. We have to be, of course, careful to put the battery inside the correct directions, so we do not switch plus and minus. And after that we can also just slide in the display and PCB. And I also did print this end cap here now, which will then hook into the PCB slot here to just gets hold by the PCB, and that way we can slowly and carefully pull it in, or push it in, pull it a bit via the display itself. And we already saw that the display was refreshing, and it's now nicely closed and a nice small package. The next version I came up with then has also this hook, so we have a nice little badge. Another version I did before was this one, where we have still the big version, but two hooks to also have a badge that way. And I'm really liking this one here a lot. It's printed in one piece without support, without anything, and has also this end cap here. And if you would carry it around on your neck, it's quite a nice thing. With the correct firmware you could even play some animations or so. The battery is lasting for around 1 year with the BLE enabled and advertising at I think 300 milliseconds. And it does a partial refresh every minute, where the minute is increasing and the temperature and the battery voltage. And every hour the screen does a full refresh. And that's what I came up with so far. Another version is this rectangle one. I'm also liking it a lot because before I made this 2.9 inch version like this, but this time we have used the full PCB and everything without the need to solder at all to get a full version running. And I just wanted to show it a bit. I really like this small case and how easy it was. The whole project was made with Tinkercad now, and while I'm not liking that it's harder to get correct dimensions, you can still get around to such a finished project. In the end it's quite a simple design, but to get there took a few iterations, as you can see. And I will maybe put the files to Thingiverse. I will see in the future. I will link it down in the description if so. And that's it for today.